So you don't appreciate success unless you failed, right? And this is a lesson that I teach my kids every single day as well, that you want to fall on your face every once in a while. However, I didn't really want to fall on my face a week after
none of us want to, but we all say, I know it's good for me, but.
Well, let me tell you that it was a really kind of awful experience, because I had been promoted to be part of the first ever 2-female anchor team in primetime television at a local level. Nobody had ever tried that before. It was pretty much always, well, first it was always a male, but then it was a male and a female. And so the other woman was from Cleveland, where I was working at the time, and I was the newbie. So I go off and get married, come home from my honeymoon, and I get called up to the general manager's office. And I sort of had this feeling in my stomach. And
that it wasn't a raise he wanted to talk about.
No. And he said, it's just not working out. And I said, well, what's going to happen to the show? And he said, well, we're going to keep Denise, but we don't have another role for you, so we're going to have to let you go. And I got this pit in my stomach. And then he said the killer line, which was, but now that you're married, you'll be fine.
A collective ouch.
So not only was that illegal to say that,
yeah, exactly,
but it was not something that felt very good for me. So newly married, no job. The headlines were, horrible. Bye-bye, Miss America Pie. And it was really hard to deal with, because I really hadn't done anything wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, not that that would have made it
So it wasn't a performance issue, wasn't an
no.
ethical breach, or
nothing. It was simply because
it's business.
I mean, well, because I was a woman and it wasn't working out with two women together. I think he also added, and we're going to replace you with a man. So I did not have a job for a year, toughest year of my life. And as we can all attest to, being married in the first year is a big enough of a transition, right?
And the second year, and the third year.
Well, yeah. And
Wait,
so,
happily married many years. I'm just playing around here, just playing around. And I'm sure Casey's a swell guy.
It's all about getting real. So anyway, I was not a fun person to live with the first year of marriage. And it was the most difficult period in my life. And I think I have great empathy for anyone who has ever lost their job. There's a certain amount of pain and shame that never leaves you. And I have great empathy for people who are currently, the millions of people in our economy right now who are currently looking for a job. And I knew that I was going to have to move away from my husband to get a job, because that's how it works in television. You don't just go up to the 35th floor for the next promotion or the new job. You've got to move to a new city. Yeah. So in the funny way that this world works with small world occurrences, the boss who was with me in Cleveland, she ended up going to work for NBC in Dallas. And she ended up hiring me in Dallas a year later. Oh. And so, that was a great way to get back on my feet. The bad part was that now I lived in Dallas and my husband lived in Cleveland. So our second year of marriage, we spent commuting to try and keep our relationship going. But I give a lot of advice in my book about how I got back on my feet and how other people can do the same thing if they've also gone through a traumatic thing like that.